In this video, we are sharing our debt-free journey.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Long Run with Joel and Christy. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy. We would like to invite you to follow our journey to live a healthy life on a budget.
And today we're going to share with you our debt-free journey, how it began and where we are in the present day. So we started our debt-free journey about 6 years ago. Actually, it was a little more than 6 years ago. I started doing an Excel budget even further back than that. But in January of 2013, I come across this program called ynab, You Need a Budget. And it was pretty much what I was doing in Excel, just gave me more features and more things that I could do with it. And so I started using that. One of the characteristics of You Need a Budget is that you want to be living a month ahead of your income. So whatever income you're bringing in January is the money you're going to use for February. And so what we did was we got a month ahead in February of that year. Started using software in January, and we got a month ahead in February. And so we were cruising along there. I had a pretty good job. Christy was working, and we were doing pretty well. We started budgeting a little bit and doing all those things that you normally do on a budget. But then May of 2013 hit, and I lost my job. So seeing that I was bringing in the most of the income, that hit us pretty hard. And the good thing about it was we took 3 months of severance pay and turned it into at least 6. And so because we were already living on a budget, we were already living a month ahead with our income, we cut back on some things that we found out were not essential to our lives. I know that's a strange thing, but when you go through a financial crisis, you really understand what's important to you and what's important to your life. And so we cut out a lot of things that weren't really important to our lives, that we really figured out that we really didn't need those things. And so we got rid of a little over $200,000 worth of debt during that time. My job loss was what led us to our debt-free journey. I know Dave talks about what was your sick and tired moment. Well, ours wasn't a sick and tired moment. Ours was a you ain't got no choice moment. And so we realized we had to pay off a lot of stuff pretty quickly, because you never know when you're going to get another job. And so that was during just coming out of the recession, coming out of the when jobs were pretty much scarce. And so we realized we had to pay off a lot of stuff in a short period of time. So we paid off our cars with some money we had set aside. So we did all of that. We paid off all of our cars. We downsized our cars so that we'd be cheaper on gas. And so
older and cheaper on gas.
Yeah. And so we're still driving one of the cars that we downsized to. It's a 2008, so it's 11 years old now.
And it's the only car we have.
It's the only car we have, and it's still running pretty good. So you service a car for a while, it'll run you for a long time. So keep that in mind. If you're on a debt-free journey now and you're driving an old car, kudos to you, because we are too. We could afford another car now, but we just don't, because we don't want the car payments, because we don't want to be in debt again.
If you get a good quality car, it should last you a long time.
Should last you a long time if you keep the maintenance up on it. So our sick and tired moment was more of a you ain't got a choice moment. So what was your sick and tired moment? Was it a sick and tired moment, or was it a you ain't got no choice moment? You can comment below and let us know how your journey started. But that's how we started. That's how things got going for us, and we paid off a lot of stuff in a short period of time. We had some credit card debt and a student loan that we thought was paid but really wasn't paid, and so we had to pay that off too. And we had a home that we were paying off at the time, and we didn't sell it right away because we were still living in the place where we're living at that point. We're cash flowing one of our sons' education at the time, and he had to drop out of school. I had to drop out of school, and so
he was working on his EDD.
Yeah, I was working on a doctoral degree, 6 hours short. Everything but my dissertation was done, and so I just didn't have the money to finish it. So anyway, we got rid of a lot of stuff except our house, and so we just continued the journey on. Finally, about 9 months later, I found a job that I'm still in today, that I really love, and that I started at the bottom and worked my way up to where I am now, and we're excited about where we are. We were living in Tennessee at the time, and then during the middle of all of that, we moved here to Houston, and in the meantime, while that was going on, we sold our house because we're not living there anymore. We didn't need it anymore, so we're renting here in Houston. Sold our house, and that pretty much finished off the rest of the debt that we had. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of total of $200,000. I wouldn't really know. We'd add it all up at the time, and
we weren't following like Financial Peace University or anything, so we never like sat down and added up the amounts that we owed. We just got rid of our debts.
we got rid of them.
So we don't know like what it was totally when you.
They're all gone now, and so we don't have to worry about that. And so we're once again cash flowing our son's education, and we're excited about where he's going with that, and we do have credit cards. Now I know some people on the debt-free journey they cut up all their credit cards and they don't use them anymore. We do still have credit cards. I use one for work that I reimburse myself for. We sometimes use them to buy groceries and things so that we can get the points. We've been able to take trips because of points that we've gotten on our credit cards, and so that's one of the things that we do. You don't have to do that. That's fine. If you do, comment below and let us know how you do that.
We said it's a kind of thing where you had to figure out your personal spending habits.
Sure.
I'm the saver, so I didn't really have a problem with.
So she's assuming I'm the spender, which
not
I guess
really. He's just more, not
does.
really, but more so than I am. I say I'm like my grandmother. She would go into a store and talk herself out of stuff. I'm that person that goes in, picks up, and then never walks out of the store with it. I just put it back. So that's why one of the reasons why our credit card debt was kind of small, because I was like, I talked myself out of anything. So.
All right, so that's where we were, and that's how we got to where we are now. So where are we now? Well, we're still running a month ahead on our. That hasn't changed in the 6 years. We've always been a month ahead on our income, and so we feel pretty blessed in that, seeing that we went 6 months without any work, and then except for Christy's job, and then
I wasn't making that much.
And then I did take a job that a couple of jobs that I didn't like, and got out of those, and then finally found the one that I did love, and now I'm still in that one. And so where are we now? Well, we're still a month ahead on our income. So the money that we're earning now in October is going to be used for November, and so we also have a baby emergency fund of $1,000 that we haven't touched since we put it in there. So, that's an exciting thing to see that you got $1,000 in your budget that you haven't even touched, and you haven't touched in 6 months, and so maybe longer than that. And so we also set up several sinking funds. We bought tires with sinking fund. We did our last oil change service for our car with a sinking fund. We bought the chairs that we're sitting in. We bought with the sinking fund of household items. It's money that's left over from our grocery budget that we don't use every month. We budget about $600 for groceries every month. Anything that's left over goes into our household essentials fund. And so we bought a lot of things that go into our home out of that budget and didn't have to spend extra money for it and didn't have to go into debt. And so that's an exciting thing. We have I'm an avid runner, and so although I can run for free for practice, if I want to run a race, and it's going to they like money, and so
especially marathons.
Yeah. I'll be running the New York City Marathon on November the 3rd. And to do that, it's hard to really get in. It's hard to get into the New York City Marathon if you go through the lottery drawing.
You might get it, you might
yeah,
not.
you might get it, you might not. And so a lot of people enter the drawing and very few get chosen. And so since it's one of my goal races, I decided to go as a charity runner. And as a charity runner, you have to raise a certain amount of money to guarantee your entry. And so, and then you have to pay the entry fee and all the associated costs that go with getting to New York City. So I signed up to be a charity runner. We'd already planned out how we were going to put money aside just in case no one donated to my fund, to my charity. And so we were putting money aside for that. And then my the restaurant that I run stepped in and said, hey, you know what? Let's do some fundraisers in the restaurant, and we'll put that money towards your charity. We did 2 fundraisers, one in May and one in July, and the money that were brought in for she gave me a portion of sales of a certain item on the menu, and then the money that through those 2 fundraisers, my charity portion was covered. So I want to thank Holly for that. Thank you for doing that for me and helping us get there, and all the team members at our restaurant and all the guests that bought chicken sandwiches that day. Those 2 days, great time for us, and all that's covered. And so we also set aside money for getting to New York City, and all of that as of about a month and a half ago, it's all paid for. So when we step on the plane to go to New York City on Halloween, on October the 31st, then everything's paid for except for the stuff that we're going to do while we're there. And we're going to go ahead and pay for some stuff, some of the things we're going to do before we get there, but most of our food and stuff will be paid while we're up there, and then it'll be paid all when we get back. We've actually taken 3 trips this year that we've totally cash flowed. Back in May, our son and daughter-in-law graduated from college, and we went up for a graduation, us 2, and our older son, we cash flowed that debt-free. We took a trip back to Tennessee in October to see them again. They have new jobs now and living in a different place in Tennessee, but we went back to see them and cash flowed it, all paid for before we went. And now the New York City Marathon, before we go, everything's paid for. Plane tickets, hotel rooms, everything is done. We're doing it on one income. And so, we're excited about the journey that we've had. We're excited about the things that, we're not excited about the things we went through. Things we went through were hard. But hard times call for hard faith and hard things that you have to do in your life to make things better. And so we're grateful for the hard times because it made us better, it made us stronger. Mm-hmm. And so so don't worry, if you're going through a hard time right now, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you're going to be stronger at the end of it. So hang in there. It will get better. And so if you're going through a hard time right now, if you want to comment at the bottom, we'd love to hear about it and encourage you in your journey as well. So comment down there in the bottom and let us know how we can help you as well. So so we're excited about where we've been. We remember where we've been. We remember the journey it's taken us to get to this point, and we're excited about the future, about what's going to happen as we continue in our debt-free journey.
I hope you were inspired by hearing about our debt-free journey and how we survived our financial crisis. Again, comment below and tell us if you've ever dealt with job loss or financial crisis, or just tell us how you ended up in your debt-free journey. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that you don't miss any future videos regarding debt freedom, frugal living, and tips for living healthy on a budget. We post every Tuesday and Thursday as soon as we launch officially on November 14th. Also, be sure to follow our blog, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest accounts. You can find the links down in our description. And be sure to check out our video where we shared just a little bit about how weird we are, and that should be right here on the bottom of the screen.
Okay, until next time.
Bye. All right, again, I hope that y'all, enjoyed getting to know a little bit more about what we went through. That's kind of weird.